Hello. So I was reading just now. I was learning these are tefillin. In case no one has seen them before, there's something Jewish men put on every day, not for the whole day. I usually put mine on earlier in the day. It's close to sundown, about 40 minutes from sundown, I believe, and I wanted to make sure I got them on, and I do a little learning. I've got all them different books and whatnot, text. There's this book, Ishtapchut Nefesh, Mishivat Nefesh, which is the teachings of Rabbi Nachman, is recorded by Rabbi Nassan, if I'm not mistaken. I really enjoy Rabbi Nachman, and there was something that I was learning that is very apt to, or very good for people like us, for schizophrenics, or people who hear and see things, people, whether or not you have a diagnosis, whether or not some psychiatrist told you something about yourself that you disagree with or agree with. So there's an idea that when we want something, when we have a desire for something, it is good to verbalize it. Now, that is for good things. The idea that if you have a desire for something evil doesn't make you a bad person at all, necessarily. There might be a reason you have that desire. You're not acting on it, but it's also good not to verbalize it. Verbalizing it can wake things up. If you believe in these sorts of things, mysticism, or I don't want to say mysticism, I don't like that word. The unexplained things we say over here, I say with certain people I know who are serious in the Olam HaMukubalin, Olam HaKabbalah, Olam HaTzad HaSheni, the other side, the people who understand things. There's a saying, he who understands them. So they would say, they call this the hidden world. So if I'm in a way that I get, and then I see one of these guys, and he's like, how are you? And I say, I'm doing okay, I'm just in one of my ways, man. I say I'm jumping frequencies. That's what I always say, like a little mix of army slang and Torah talk, because a lot of these guys were in the army, and then they later on became very into Torah and look different than they did back then. Jumping frequencies, they know what that means. I'm jumping between worlds, and for them it's all real. So with these guys, the mystics, if I tell them I'm hearing God or talking to angels or seeing demons or ghosts or whatever it is, or the buildings are moving, or I'm understanding something, for them it's all real. They're like, yeah, this is real, man. You're one of the people that can tune in, but no one's gonna understand it. So why is the verbalization good? Because if I have a desire, let's say I want a pair of pants, and I don't have, maybe I need a pair of pants, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting one, even if you have enough pants, but let's say, and you verbalize that to God. You say, God, could you please help me? I want to get a pair of pants. That the verbalization does something with the desire. So if I have a desire which is unhealthy, I'm not saying an evil desire, but an unhealthy desire, let's say someone's in mania, because I'm also bipolar, so mania, let's say they're hypersexual in mania, and they have a desire for things that they normally wouldn't have, and it's not the most healthy desire for them, and they say, God, can you please take away this desire? I have a desire right now for this, to do this with someone, or to do it with people, or whatever it is, but I don't want this desire. Can you help me take it away from me? Then that's a good thing to do, to verbalize it. Verbalizing it takes away its power over us. Not only that, who are you verbalizing it to? You're verbalizing it to God. Now, I'm not going to thump a Bible and tell anyone what to believe. This is just my thing. If someone believes in the universe or the cosmos, or I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the Hindu gods right now, or whatever God it is, or power it is, or nothing. They could say, I'm an atheist. Dear nothing, will you help? I need help. Dear nothing, I need help. Whatever it is, it's good to verbalize it. Hey, myself, I need you to help me. Since there's no God, I need you to help me. Right? So because by verbalizing these things, we hear them, it reinforces, we take away their power. So if I need a pair of pants and I say, God, can you help me get a pair of pants? Then all of a sudden I'm not worried about whether or not I'll get them, because I've asked God for help. So if it's not God, if it's just me talking out loud, okay, today I need to get a pair of pants, I don't have any money. So I'll have to wait till tomorrow to see if I can get the money together today. So how can I get the money together? Then I'm just doing a rational, step-by-step, logical, trying to plan, and all of a sudden it doesn't bother me. God, I don't like these voices and visions. Please take them away from me. Please take them away from me. God, I like these voices and visions, so don't let them go away. Whatever it is, maybe He doesn't take it away, or maybe He gives you more. Just because we ask doesn't mean we receive, but what it does is for us, for our inner mind, it takes the power of the thing away from you. So people who walk around saying, I have a mental illness, or I have a disorder, or this, and I'm not able to, no, I disagree. It's one of the, I believe, the lies of psychology. Just like psychiatry and psychology are filled with lies and pseudoscience, and we still have to listen to them, unfortunately. Psychiatrist says you have to take your pills, or else you end up in the hospital, or whatever it is that you end up. Psychologist, if you unfortunately see one and spend 300 to 700, whatever it is, to talk about your feelings, well, this is when are you doing all this talking? In what's called hitbodedut. Hitbodedut is the alone time. So many of us, the schizos, we don't have really good sleep ability. The meds also mess it up. So like if I wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, I go outside and sit in the chair with cigarettes and tea. And if all I can manage to say is, Master of the Universe, God who created everything, please help me, then I say it. But sometimes when I'm in my little crazy ways, I can actually have a big conversation. And I'm not hearing anything in return necessarily. I'm saying, God, and I have a lot and I want to verbalize it. It's very difficult for many people to verbalize. Well, once again, you don't have to do it for God. You could do it for yourself. But we're taught that we're not supposed to do this. We're not supposed to talk out loud by ourselves, because that's strange and that's not healthy, and that's a sick person's mind. And if you want to talk about things, go to a psychologist or a therapist. Why do I need therapy to figure out how to deal with a desire that I have? Human beings have been around for a very long time. They built Rome and Egypt and Persia and Babylon, and the Indians on the other side of the planet were building pyramids. People had huge, incredible civilizations without psychiatry and psychology, and they were okay, relatively speaking. Many of them had child sacrifice, so I don't think psychiatrists would have been able to stop that. So this hitbodedut time is a long time. I'm having a really hard time, God. I just came out of a mania, for instance. I didn't, but I wish I had. But I love mania, but it has its price. But let's say one did. I just came out of mania, and I'm not feeling good, and I'm feeling down. God, I know this is going to be a down period. I know the pattern. Please help me. Please give me strength. Please help me. Please give me strength. What am I doing? I'm telling myself in my head also at the same time, be prepared. Be prepared. This is going to be a little while. This is going to be a rough ride. It's like the army days. I was in the military, and the idea from the Israeli Defense Forces. I was an infantry soldier. We have an expression, kol b'rosh. It's on your head. Taseh switch b'rosh. Flip the switch in your head. I was 12 years of reserve duty, and my schizophrenia came later in life as a result of post-trauma that wasn't treated, and it's a different story. So anyway, the bottom line is hitbodedut, alone time. A lot of us are alone a lot of the time. A lot of us who are called schizophrenics or bipolars. I'm seeing all these borderline personality disorder now on Twitter. All these young people, young people being diagnosed left and right by psychiatrists. I don't understand what's going on, because when I was younger, this wasn't the case. It's like nowadays, if people are unhappy, and that's a whole nother discussion. Why is the West unhappy? There's no fulfillment. You can't be self-fulfilled spiritually. And we're all spiritual beings, but I'm not talking about theology and religion. We all have a spiritual side, or spiritual integration into ourselves. Spiritual part of us integrated within ourselves. You can't really be fulfilled if it's all about sushi and Netflix and my next vacation, and there's no time to self-reflect. So the word in Hebrew for prayer, hitbalel, which is reflexive. It's reflexive for hitbalel, to pray, or to look into, to pray into one side of oneself, but also to pray to God. So the time that I'm wearing these right now, I have 2 pairs that I try to wear every day. Usually it's one. Sometimes one, sometimes it's 2. These things, for whatever reason, they feel good. I like the pressure on the arm. They feel good on my head. I feel connected. I feel energy moving better in my body. This is ancient stuff. People do yoga. Yoga is ancient. So I don't do yoga. I do something else. Jews are Eastern people. What was the topic? I said I put these on and I feel energy. And the energy is going. Well, God makes a war on Egypt. Pharaoh doesn't let us out. Then Pharaoh says, get the hell out of here. We're going to the desert for 40 years. Why 40 years? Because we had to stop being slaves. We had to get rid of our slave mentality. We had to learn how to be free. And one of the great things about being free and being out in the desert, there's plenty of time to be by yourself. And when you're by yourself in the desert, it's not like being in the mountains. You know, I grew up in the east coast of the United States. It's not like being in Appalachia, which is absolutely beautiful. It's not like being in the North Carolina mountains or the West Virginia mountains, or, you know, it's not like that. The desert is different. I mean, out west you have desert, New Mexico. The desert is just you and God, because there's no water there. There's no trees. There's no animals. You're at God's mercy. So granted, I live in the desert right now, but I have a house and there's supermarkets and stuff. Las Vegas is a desert. But in the desert, where Abraham, you know, Beersheba, the city I'm in right now, is Abraham's city. Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, where I lived more than half my life, I'm trying to get back. A different city, but not desert like this. The desert is just you and God. So if you make a little time every day, even 1 minute, even one sentence, even one word, if you just wake up and I know, and all you can say is help, and you don't know who you're saying it to yourself. Remember, the psychiatrists, if you do believe in God, the psychiatrist is nothing. He knows nothing compared to God. God knows everything about you. If you don't believe in God, and you depend on your psychiatrist, no problem at all. You don't have to ask his permission or your psychologist. All I'm saying is it's good to verbalize, and it takes the power of the fear away. So I got that from the learning. Rabbi Nachman. Shabbat is coming. The Jews say Shabbat Shalom. Not really observant, so I do what I do. All right, till next time.